May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to Candace Owens Destroy Male Feminist. So without further ado, let's get started.
My question is just, I looked at some data while you were speaking about the gender pay gap in the UK and the US. So apparently it's 17% in the UK and 19% in the US.
No, it's not.
And it's WEF data, so I
Yeah.
just looked at
doesn't
that.
know
So
that.
maybe,
The
maybe
gender
World
pay gap.
Economic from in 2015,
Right.
in
So,
percentage.
happy to
No,
talk
no,
about this at length.
yeah, this is
so
like,
my question is basically, what do you think are the causes of this?
It
yeah.
doesn't exist.
Well,
Do
no,
you-
there is a cause for it. I'll tell you what it is.
And do you think there should be public measures to tackle it? And yeah, the causes and the public
Fair
reaction.
question.
So
I
what do you
get it. I
think?
get it all the time because obviously I'm like the anti-feminist. So people are always like, "How can you deny the gender, the wage gap?" Okay. So when I went to university, all of the girls that I was friends with were majoring in fashion and textiles and merchandising, and they all went off to intern at Vogue. And pick out Prada bags that maybe Kate Moss would wear on the cover of something. The average pay for that, if you want to be in fashion when you get out of school, is $20,000. Men were majoring in business and engineering and things that when you get out of school, you get paid more. If our interests, if we're going to go in and we're not going to be taking serious majors, and we're shocked when we find out the world doesn't need more people to pick out Prada bags for Kate Moss's shoot. I mean, that's not a gender wage gap. That's an interest gap, right? And that's what's happening. Also, women, we have different interests. Women aspire to get married, they aspire to have children. They leave the workforce earlier. Every single one of my girlfriends, what I'm saying is that a person that is a brain surgeon should not get paid the same amount as a person that wants to pick out Prada bags for the rest of her life. I mean, this is what's going on in America. When you look at the wage gap, they're not telling you what the jobs actually are and what women are going into in terms of their majors in university. When you're taking feminist dance class 101, you're not going to make 6 figures when you go out of university. That's just the truth. And women, if there was a real feminist movement, would talk about that, would say, hey, if you want to make as much as men, maybe we should be majoring in engineering and things like that. But we don't because we have different interests, which is fine. But you then can't complain and think that we should now have a society that forces, what are we going to do? Are we going to have like a government that says now we have to pay women that want to go into fashion 6 figures to make them feel good and like they're doing things that are productive in society? Like that's not a practical solution. If we want to get serious, if women want to make more than men, they do. It's actually been proven statistically in America that when they go into the same majors and take on the same jobs, women get paid more than men in those particular fields.
So for Google, for example, I'm going to comment on this in a variety of different ways. Google, for example, did a pay equity audit 2 weeks ago.
That was last week.
And Google said we must go after gender-based wage discrimination. Turns out that men were being significantly underpaid at Google, so they dished out $9 million in bonuses to men at Google because women were being overpaid. A couple things. First of all, if you just lazily, as some of the studies that you referenced, not you're being lazy, but the studies are lazy, extrapolate all the women and all the men at a certain age and don't take into account how long they've been in a job, what they studied, their experience prior, the gender wage gap in the States does exist. But if you take in women that study the same stuff as men and are in the workforce at the same time as men, they actually earn 106 cents of the dollar more, meaning 6 cents more than a man does in the States. Candace made a brilliant point. In the States, if you look at the 5 majors that are the highest performing majors, and the 5 majors that are 5 lowest performing majors. So roughly the 5 highest performing majors in the United States of America: petroleum engineering, business, finance, things of that nature. They're 80 to 90% more or less dominated by men. There's only one major that are dominated by women, a single out of the 5. If you look at the 5 worst performing, pre-K education, things of that nature, elementary school education, almost 80 to 90% dominated by women because they naturally will make different choices because they're biologically
We're
set
just
up
biologically different. Our interests are different.
Really quick, women are also...
Can I just go back on that? Because I find it's a very interesting point you're making, the interest and the biologically
Yeah, it's backed up by a Cambridge study that was
Can you
actually...
just elaborate on this? Because I would tend to disagree about the biologically part of the...
There's a
For
Cambridge
instance,
study
women,
that
you say
states that.
women, you say the gender gap doesn't exist and that women would be more inclined to do a fashion degree
Well, no,
rather than a business degree.
Women and men are different, yes.
I'm going to say something that you probably hate, an expression you hate, but social construct.
Well,
And
no, we have evidence to this, though. Look at the Scandinavian countries. They tried to get rid of this. They actually allowed teenagers to choose which, do you want to get into STEM fields or not? And the data actually showed that women naturally wanted to go towards, when they tried to make the society totally equitable and they try to get rid of these gender roles, women still, because of the biological predisposition towards nurturing, women...
We naturally want to nurture.
They go to nursing.
There are definitely studies against that nurturing part. Women are not more inclined to be nurturing.
Absolutely.
110% we are. 110. I mean,
Sweden is the example of it. You're just wrong.
It's just true. It's just true.
But based on what? What studies? Is it true based on what?
There was a study done by Cambridge scientists that demonstrated that men naturally revert to environments that require more structure, such as politics and the professions that he mentioned. And women naturally revert to professions such as teaching, which require more empathy and emotion. This is just a natural thing. It's important not to. It's important not to say that women should be forced into those roles, but you do have to accept
that we naturally
that
do.
we naturally revert to them.
It's just true. I'm just telling you, like, even if you've said, I'm telling you, every single woman that I went to university with versus every single man, there's just a difference in terms of the majors that we're picking, and we're not forced to pick certain majors. We just aren't forced to. So what you're seeing is the result of people picking their different interests, right? And unfortunately, the other part of your question was, should we do something in society to even it out? We don't have to do anything in society to even it out.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Do you think there's a biological difference between a man and a woman?
I do believe, indeed, there's a biological difference between man and woman, but when it comes to interest, I do more believe that...
So let me ask you a follow-up. Don't mean to interrupt rudely, but if we have biological differences, do I have more adrenal? Do I have more testosterone than she does?
I think, yes, indeed.
Do you think that testosterone could drive you to do different interests and things?
Well, I could indeed do believe that. The thing is...
So maybe a man might be more likely to be a weightlifter, serve in the army, be a police officer, a firefighter, and a woman who has more estrogen might want to be a nurturer, a preschool teacher. Do you see how biology...
I have another question. Do you think it's desirable for the society, this kind of...
Of course.
I love it, yeah.
Absolutely.
I love the yin and the yang. I think men and women are symbiotic. It's beautiful. It's biblical. And it's something that we should stop trying to actively work to force and destroy at a certain point. I love it. And I did a podcast. I was interviewing John Voight, who you guys might know. He's Angelina Jolie's father, and he was talking about this like biblical, beautiful thing that our society is currently trying to destroy. And he said the thing that I see over and over again in my life, and it's nice because he's 80 years old now, so they have that wisdom when they get old. And he said women just know what to do when they have children. He's like, they just know. It's so innate. When you see a woman with a child, it's just the most beautiful thing. He goes, you get men around there, they don't know what they're doing. And every single one of my girlfriends that now has children says the same thing, that it's easier when the man just leaves the house because it's like they have another child, right? And that's beautiful, right? And feminists make you think that there's something wrong with that. Like, make him do this and do that. And it's like, yes, there are certain things that we innately know how to do. And when I see a child, I instantly know how to take care of them. That's just something that's innate and it's biological. And maybe I don't have the data and the facts to describe to you that I can prove that this is a thing. But it is. It just is a thing. And I don't know why society wants to destroy that or force it in a different way and make men the people that are innate and know what to do when they see children. There's something really beautiful and spiritual about that should never be disrupted.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's true. Okay, so the thing now is all men out there need to protect Candace Owens. Like, she's one of the most sincere lady I've seen, She calls a spade a spade. She lets you know this is what is really happening. And that is what we want. We want to hear the truth. Because I've seen ladies that have given birth, how they figure out things sometimes, it marvels me. Because I feel like, they calculate way more than men. They know what to do next. They know, okay, this is supposed to be here. This child needs this and all. It's just how they were being created. And I love that about them. And I feel like people are not really saying, much of this. They're not really giving them credit for that ability because it's imbued, you see. Back to this debate, when I was in school, I did not really pay attention to what is playing right here. I felt like, maybe we're all studying this for this. I studied accounting, and majority of the people studying accounting, let's say 80%, were guys. And when we go to field like communication, almost 90% are ladies. So, then I did not really put my head around it. I felt like, okay, maybe people just want to study this course. But right now, as they were, explaining to this guy, now I'm seeing a reason why, men will want to do hectic work, work that deal with calculation, heavy lifting and all. Women who want to do work that deals with reading, nurturing, being there, like showing this emotion, empathy. And I think that is where they thrive in. And I just love that because that is who they are. That is how they function. When they do things like this, they are able to do it easily. So I don't know why people want to change how things work. They want to feel like, now, as a woman, you need to do this because a man is doing this, because you need to have equal pay with men. You see, you can't compare my pay as a person that studied accounting and a woman paid, for studying communication. It's way different, especially in some field, let's say medical field. You see, more guys tend to do medicine. You see, become doctors. I know ladies also become doctors compared to the number of ladies that are going into nursing. I know guys now going into nursing, but if you see, a whole lot of ladies go into that profession more because they have this empathy, they have this way of nurturing people. They want to be around people that are sick, people that are helpless. It's in their God-given nature to do that. Compared to guys just want to get things done the fastest way possible. You see, that is why when you go to field like engineering, they thrive there because they want to create, they want to fix things, they want, like, that is how they have been built. It has been there from the beginning of time, and no matter how we try to polish it, it won't change. Anyway, there's a beautiful one coming from Candace and Charlie Kirk. I really want to see more videos from them. I love the way Candace Owens tackled this. She gave it her all, without emotion. She gave it the what this video needs, the fact. She gave facts. She gave reasons why things are happening this way. And assuming this is coming from a guy who feel like, nah, it's coming from a guy, so this is it. Well, it's coming from a lady that has given birth, that is married, that understand how things operate. You see, she made a statement. She said most times ladies want their guys out of the house, go out there and work, because it will look as if they are babysitting another extra child. But when he's not around, they're able to, take care of the child, take care of the home, process things faster. And I think I noticed this when my sister gave birth. I could see that she acted way different than when she was, unmarried. Now she became more conscious of what is happening in her environment. She became like a mother figure. She wants to make sure everyone is okay. It's more of everyone now, not longer herself. And I think that is what giving birth will do to you. It triggered this motherly instinct in you, and it's so lovely, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If it is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember, bless.